Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Kashish Mendiratta. In this video, I will be discussing about what is backtracking. In my previous video, I have discussed about all the topics which I will be covering in this playlist. So this is my video in which I will be talking about backtracking. So firstly, what is backtracking? It is an approach in which we try to find a solution using all the available options. So to illustrate this statement, I have taken an example. Suppose there is a rat. There is a famous problem rat in a maze. So suppose there is a rat and rat can move up, down, left and right. And a rat has to, if the rat starts from here, he has to reach the finish line. And we have to find that whether rat can go to the finish line or not. Now, now just focus for this statement. Suppose rat is here at certain point. Now the rat has two options. The upper part is blocked and from the left he has came. Okay. So now the rat has two options, either to go to right or to go to down to find the finish line. Now at this point, we can't say that if the rat goes to right, he can go to finish line, or if the rat goes to down, he can goes to finish line, because this at this point we can't decide, because we don't know what's after that point. We don't know the further paths. Here we don't know the further paths, and here we don't know the further path. So we can't decide at any point. So we have to find all the available options. Means firstly we try to explore in a certain direction, just like we go from here, and we went to here. And after coming to this point, we realize that we can't go in any other direction, so we backtrack. This is backtrack. This is a track means a path. And if that path doesn't lead to a solution, we come back from that path. So we came from that back, back and back, because from here to here there is no solution. Now from this point we try to explore some other path. So we try to explore this path. Let's suppose we move to this path, and from here we can't move anywhere, so we backtrack from here and move down and there. So we find a path. Means we can't, this is no guarantee of which next step we have to find a solution. Just like I have said, there is no particular reason for going right or no particular reason for going down. We have to try every possible path. So this means this is a backtracking question in which we have to find all the available options. So I hope you understand what is backtracking. So what are the various types of problems in the decision making, in the backtracking? There are mainly four types of problems, but some different types of problem also. First one is a decision making. Just like in a rat in a maze, it's a decision making problem. We have to decide whether to go to right, up, left, or down. So we have to decide to find a path. Means this is a decision problem. And queen, a famous problem. This is also a decision problem. In this, what we have to do is that if there is a 3 cross 3, so we have to place three queens in a matrix board or chessboard, 3 cross 3 chessboard, such that no two queens cross the paths of each other. For example, if I place a queen here, we can't place in this direction, in this direction, or in this direction. So we have to find that whether this will work or not. So that's also decision making, because we don't know whether placing a queen here will get the result, or here we can't place. Means these all are decision making problems. Next one are is the optimization problem. These types of problem are mainly in graph. Suppose there is a source, there is a destination, and there are various paths, and every path has different, suppose these are the midpoints. So every path has different cost, so we have to find which is the best cost path. Means which source to destination paths involves minimum cost. So in that type of problems, we first have to go through all the available options. Means we have to explore all the paths which are going from source to destination, then find the minimum of that. So it's also a backtracking problem, these types of problems. Next one are the permutation problems. So if we are finding all the available options, that means we can find all the possible permutations also. For example, if there is a, b and c, we have to find all the permutations of a, b and c. What we can do, firstly, let's suppose this is an empty string. So firstly we can fix a position, just like all the numbers starting from a, then from b, all the strings, then from c, and then from here we fix the second part, like a, b, a, c. From same similarly here, I will just finish this part. So from here there is only one option, just c left. From here just only one option, a, c and b. Similarly for these types also, means we have to explore every possible path. Means this is a path, then this is a path, then this is a path. These means we have to explore every possible path, every possible permutations, so we can find the permutations using the backtracking. And the next problem is a subset. Means some subset problems, like we are given two elements, we have to find all the possible subsets. So I will explain this example later, because I want to explain the flow of backtracking, how this works. Before that, how to identify that a given problem is a backtracking problem. First one is that you will be given, if you are given complexity in question, that would be an exponential or factorial complexity, because we are exploring every possible option, so that involves a large task. So that will be high complexity. So obviously if the complexity is more, the constraint will be less. You will be given like n is less than 10, n is less than 20, n lies between 1 and 50, means less than 100, I guess. Means that depends upon question. Means if these types of constraints are there is a high chance that it is a backtracking problem. And the third one is the most important. Means if you find that you can't decide that which path to go, just like in a rat in a maze. Similarly in sudoku, just like if there is a cell, this is complete sudoku, you can place multiple things. Just like in this cell you can place 1, 3, 8 and 9, and you can't decide that which number to fill in this sudoku such that the sudoku is completed. So you have to try every possible path. No guarantee of which next move. Means if I place 1, I don't know that leads to solution or not. If I place 3, I don't know that whether it leads to solution or not. So I have to try every possible path. So these three are the very important, and this is the very important path. If you find that you can't decide, means you there is no proper way to find that the next step is will give you the solution, then it's the backtracking problem. And from constraints you can find that, and complexity, these are very helpful to find whether it's a backtracking problem or not. Now I will be explaining the flow of backtracking with an example. Suppose, let's say there is a set of three elements, and I have to find all the possible subsets. So how can I do that? Suppose initially there is an empty set and we have three elements. So there will be two types of set. Means from here, from empty set, there will be two types of elements. There will be two types of subsets. First, which involves one, and other type of sets which do not involve one. Suppose from here we go to this point. Means here it's an empty set, and here a set, same set. That means the current element is not involved, that means the one element is involved. So these, whatever will come after this means all the subsets which have one in it, and this means all the subsets which do not have one in it. Let's complete that. So one, the job of one is done. Now we have only two elements left. Now similarly we are doing for two, empty, and here it will be 2, and here it will be simply 1, and here it will be 1 and 2. So the next will be of only 3. So here it's empty, here it's only 3, here it's only 2, here it's 2 and including 3, here left side same, right side including 3, left side same, and right side including 3. So from here, these all are the answers. These all are the different subsets which I can form using 1 and 3. Let's check that out. 1 will be the empty set. Yeah, it is there. So this one is covered. Next will be the sets having only one element. So 1, 2 and 3. So is there 1, 2 and 3? This is 1, this is 2 and this is 3. So that are covered. Next with the two elements, 1 and 2, 2 and 3, 1 and 3. 3 and 1 will not be counted because these two contains the same elements. A subset means if we are having the same elements, then that's not a different set. So there are three. Here three. 1, 2, 2, 3, 1, 3. Yeah. So 1, 2. Where is 1, 2? 1, 2, 2, 3, 1, 3. And last one is 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, this is there. So we are trying every possible, we are trying to find every available option. Means from here we have two options, that whether to include one or not. Here we have option whether, here we have option whether to include one or not. Here we have option whether to include two or not. Here we have option whether to include three or not. So means after that we have found that all the available options. So how is this flow going on? I have drawn just like two child from here, but actually the recursion call do not go this way. How it goes? Just like there is a function and I applied function from here. So how it will go? It will go to first left, and when the left is completed it will then go to right. Okay, so this applies recursively. So means if we are starting from here, it will first go to this position, then it will go to this point, then it will go to this point. After this point it finds that it's a part of solution because we have tested for all the three components. So so adding this into the solution, it backtracks. This is a backtrack, means it is going to its parent. So from here this goes to 3. One more thing, in backtracking we just involve one set. Just see that these are the different stages of recursion and this is one common set. So we can allocate different sets by simply passing by value, but that will consume a lot of space. Assume that uh, giving the different space to each set, so that will be a lot of space. So we just take the space of one element and just pass it by reference and make the necessary changes. So here I want to explain that. For example, 3 came. For example, I want to call from here with adding 2. This was done. Here we have called the right child by adding 2. So what we need, we need empty set here. And if this is passed by reference, and if that goes to left, after left it goes to right, and here the set becomes 3. So we need empty set here. So after the recursion call of this element is completed, so before returning that we have to remove that element also. Getting my point? Means suppose there is only one set, this is just one set. So firstly the recursion calls are going here, recursion calls are going here. So the set is still empty. After this position the set becomes 3. So when it will be returning to this point, it has to be empty. Suppose we didn't make it empty, so that will go to its parent, it's still 3, and after that we add 2, so it becomes 3 and 2, but we want only 2. So we need to remove the element which we have added. So just understand this point. So suppose there are multiple, this is parent, there are multiple childs. Suppose from here, just like 1 2, I have made a change by calling its parent. I have made it 1 2 and 3. So we have to backtrack and remove that change when the child is done, so that it do not affect its next child or its parents next child's. Are you getting my point? I hope you made it. So the recursion call is like, we first go this. I will make simple lines so that it's better to understand. So first it will go to the left, 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 left. After it's finished, it will go to right. If it is finished, after that, after from this is finished, from here it will call its right side, and from here it will again call its left, then its right. From same here, from this point it will call its left, left, then right, then right, then left, then right. Means you are able to understand how this is flowing. So this is how the backtracking flows goes. The main things, the main thing from this example is to understand that whatever changes we have made from parent to child, let's suppose I have added something, this is child, and whenever it returns from child to parent, that should be removed. And this is only true if the thing is passed by reference. I have taken just one set, just like, so here it becomes 1 2 and 3. So 3 has to be removed so that it can call its other child. Let's take another example. We want 1 2 and 3 here, and 1 2 and 4 here. So we have added 3. So we have added 3, and to make 1 2 and 4, if we don't remove 3, so the set will be 1 2 and 3. If from after returning from 3 we don't remove that, and here we add 4, so it will become 1 2 3 4. But we want 1 2 and 4 to restore to its parents position. We have to remove what we have added. And now suppose, in which case we don't need to remove, if this is passed by simply value. So if this is passed by value, then this is not changed. So whenever it returns, this object is removed from the memory, only this object is left, so it can call its parent. Means if we are not passing the reference, the parent set is not going to affect, but that's not a good practice. We always pass by reference, because to remove the space, reduce the space. So this was all about backtracking. We will be covering the problems of the backtracking from the next video. Stay tuned. Okay, meet you in the next video.